So thank you for joining today. We're talking about The Heat is On, and we wanted to play the music, but that might be against copyright. So just imagine the song, The Heat is On. And so today is all about heat transfer vinyl. And this is probably one of my favorite things to do. So I just want to show you a couple pictures for anybody joining us who hasn't had the opportunity to actually make anything with heat transfer vinyl. So here's a picture of my lovely daughter, Olivia, drinking some coffee. And we made this t-shirt for her. And on the back, it has heat transfer smooth black vinyl. And then we combined it with some rhinestones. That design collection is taken from our chalkboard sketch embroidery CD that also has SVG files. So you can embroider it or get crafty with it. Now this picture is on the Craft and Cut box. And this is a little sample that we made right when the Craft and Cut came out. And we just went to our local Best Buy store and purchased a little camera case. And we have silver, black, and yellow heat transfer vinyl on a neoprene camera case. Now if you're looking for this cute little design, the camera is one of the free designs that came inside of the box when you purchase Craft and Cut. Here's another sample that we did in this cute little Airstream camper. The banner, yellow banner where the Yoders is placed, and the cactus, those are also free designs inside of the Craft and Cut box and the 264 SVG files. And those are all smooth heat transfer vinyl. And today's project, our educator Chris made some quick and easy projects going towards the holiday and fall season where gift giving is usually prevalent. So look at this picture with me. Look at the tote bag. Now this is just a purchased tote bag, and doesn't it look like rhinestones? Well, here's a secret. There are no rhinestones in that design. It just looks like it. So here's a close-up picture of that. The black is made from smooth heat transfer vinyl, and the circle, the double circle ring, is actually made from glitter heat transfer vinyl. It's a really fun and easy and economical way to give a little bling to a project. Then I'm going to show you a second project that she created on these cute little pair of Keds tennis shoes, and she blinged them up and monogrammed them, and I'm quite sure she'll probably do some more fun stuff after I give her shoes back. But isn't that cute? So let's get started. We're going to start with the materials that you need for the faux rhinestone tote bag. Of course, Craft and Cut software, embroidery perfection tape. We're going to use glitter heat transfer vinyl, and for that project we used about a 5.5-inch square. Smooth heat transfer vinyl, a pre-made tote bag which you can get at your local craft store, and an iron or heat press. And so what I'm going to show you today is using Save to Cut tool and how to edit designs and make them into something unique. And we'll also be using the rhinestone tool. So a little bit, you may be thinking, I really like this, but I don't even know what you're talking about, heat transfer vinyl. So I did a little research on my way home from an event. By the way, a quick shout out to all my new friends in Novi, Michigan. We were just at an expo and I was teaching Craft and Cut and on the Silhouette machines. And I know a lot of them are watching because they're new Craft and Cut owners. And so we didn't use heat transfer vinyl there, but a lot of questions were, what is heat transfer vinyl? Where do you get it? So I screen captured some colors for the glitter heat transfer vinyl. And there's many brands on the market, but I personally like Siser brand. It's spelled S-I-S-E-R, pronounced like Caesar. And this is a metallic glitter, PU for polyurethane glitter material. And it comes in a lot of different colors. And I personally like the Caesar brand because it's just easy to weed. Almost every time it gives me a perfect application. Now you can press this onto cotton, uncoated polyester, poly-cotton blends, silicone blends, and leather. And anytime you buy heat transfer vinyl, you've got to look at the manufacturer's directions because they'll give you the pressing time. So for instance, 302 to 20 degrees for 15 seconds. You're going to peel away the liner, and this is a cold peel. Also, it's CPSI-A certified, so it's safe for children's clothing. The next type of glitter is a smooth glitter heat transfer vinyl. Whoops, and that's a typo in there, I see. This should say smooth heat transfer vinyl. And there's two types of vinyl on the market. PVC, which most of us aren't going to use that. That's a really thick, rubbery type of a film. We're going to use PU polyurethane. And so if you just do a Google search for Siser Easy Lead, you're going to find this. Whoops, go back here. So with this, it's going to show you that it's 305-degree temperature, medium pressure, and you can peel away the lining hot or cold. You don't want to dry clean it. So these are things that you're going to look for, and I found these right on the manufacturer's website. So let's get started. We're going to go back to that tote bag. So we're going to be using this scallop circle design, and this came in the box on the 264 Artwork Designs CD. And so we're using one of the designs and we're going to turn it into faux rhinestones. So you'll want to, when you go to repeat this and you watch the webinar tomorrow when it's recorded and posted, you'll want to find this CD so that you can reproduce this. Here's a picture showing you heat transfer vinyl in a carrier sheet. When you purchase any heat transfer vinyl, whether it's glitter or smooth, it comes attached with a clear carrier sheet, and there's just a picture showing we've peeled back the corner. And I want to make it clear that you don't peel back the corner. You're going to leave that carrier sheet right on when you cut it out on your digital cutter. And the carrier sheet is made so that you can put a heat press or an iron right on top of it. So that's what it looks like. We're going to add a monogram, and for the shoes, we're going to add another monogram, which I'll show you in a minute. And we're going to mirror image it. Chris had a really good tip. When you position your design on the toe of the shoe, her helpful hint was to roll up a towel and put it inside of the shoe and stuff it up inside of the toe so it stiffens it so that you can, and then use embroidery perfection tape to hold the design in place on the very edge so you're not going to press on that. And then you can use your iron on the tip of the shoe. And by stuffing a towel inside of there, it just gives it a surface to press onto. So again, folks, I will place this PowerPoint show for all the reference material on my website, and it'll be there tomorrow, so you're welcome to go to hopeyoder.com, videos, and Craft and Cut. So let's come into the Craft and Cut software. Is this full screen, DJ? Can everybody see my screen pretty good, Mr. DJ? I know you're on mute. Is this looking good?
Yes.
Thank you. Now I'm paranoid that nobody can see, but everybody can. So let's get started.
Yeah, in the software it's great. It was just in the PowerPoint because it wasn't showing full view.
Yeah, that's so strange because my screen right now is the same size as my PowerPoint was. So I'll have to look at that afterwards for next time to make sure it's better. But again, it'll be posted. All right, so let me go ahead and show you how to do the tote bag. And let me I have a little mouse clicker here. Give me just a minute, so let me activate this again. Anybody working on Mac, I love this little app called Mouse Pose, and it was only a few dollars, and it shows a highlighter of the mouse, so I think that's a lot easier. So in the latest program, which let me show you where we're at, I am using build 3109, and that should be the last update. How you update is you would go under Help and then check for updates, and it'll let you know if you need to update your software. And also when you open it up, you may get a screen that pops open saying, hey, there's a new update. Do you want to download it? So one of the latest updates has this beautiful pink icon called Hope Yoder Library. And let me open this for you. When you open yours may be empty. Mine is full of those 264 free designs that came inside of the Craft and Cut box. So let me show you how to get those there. You're going to put the CD in from your box. And let me go to that picture again here. And that CD looks like this. And you're going to put it in your CD drive. And then from here, you're going to go under File and import Hope Yoder Designs. And so we'll import that, and you're going to find your CD. And from there, it's just a matter of opening the designs and then selecting them all and say open, and that will load them right into this folder. So we used one of these built-in designs to do the faux rhinestones because it was just a little quicker and a shortcut. So looking under those 264 designs, we're going to go to the scallop ring. So you scroll down. These are, when they load, if you put them all in there, they're going to load in alphabetical order, and you can see the titles, which is really helpful. And scallop ring. Double click on the magnifying glass to get that full screen. Now, one of the things I want to show you is I personally like to work without a cutting mat. But over here on the left, you can simply left click to get your cutting mat to be visible. And even more, you can click on the cutting mat and you can choose in a drop-down menu what cutter and what size mat you might be using. So for instance, if I change this to a Brother mat, then it actually looks more like the Brother mat. Here's your undo button, and now I'm going to get rid of the mat just so I can zoom in close. If we look over here in the layers window, it looks like one design, but if you open and expand this, you have two different rings inside of there. And so for this pretty scallop, we're just going to select it and right click and left click to delete it. Up in the properties window, you can view this filled or unfilled. So I'm going to unfill this to show you what this design really looks like. And there's actually two circles or two lines for this. And instead of drawing two circles and spacing them, it was just easier to use a pre-done design. Now I'm going to come into my rhinestone path icon. And so you click on this, and now we've got rhinestones. So let me undo that in case you just happen to look away. I'm going to select this and then click on the rhinestones again, and that gives me my double line of rhinestones. Now, if you want your circles to be a different size, you can select this drop-down menu, but we're going to leave it at the 3.3 or the 10SS. And by the way, folks, this is my favorite size of rhinestones to use. I'm going to transform this, and I want to caution you, we're not actually making a rhinestone template. So if you were going to make real rhinestone template with sticky block, you would never resize the design once you created your holes. So let's just do this the other way. I'm going to undo this. I'm going to select this and go under Transform, and I want my circle of rhinestones to be about 5 inches. And hit apply. I'm going to double click on my magnifying glass, and here I'm going to select the rhinestones, and notice how this is spaced a little nicer. So I really like that look. So that's our rhinestone design, and now we're going to use the monogram templates to create a single monogram. And you can do that by just adding text, but let's open the monogram template and select a single letter. And in our sample, we did the letter K. And we also changed the font to Broadcast. So once you have that in there, select OK, and notice how small the letter is. Click on Transform, and you can either drag it with the arrows, like this, or use the Transform. So you want to get this the size that you want it, and pretty much this design is absolutely done. The little circles are going to be the glitter heat transfer vinyl. And then the letter K is going to be smooth heat transfer vinyl. And let me bring that picture back up for you. And so looking at this, we actually have two different types of material. So I want to save each element, the circle and the smooth vinyl, as a different design. So I'm going to take this letter K and paste it onto a new page. And I'm going to delete it off of this page. And the reason why is you'll see in just a moment. So now I need to save the design so I can cut it out. So you've designed this easy tote bag gift. Next comes the magic. We're going to run this through Save to Cut. So if you click on Save to Cut, this is so awesome. Here's what Save to Cut is. Okay, let's say you just bought a digital cutter, or you bought it a couple years ago and it's still, excuse me, in pristine condition. So let's say, sorry about that, forgot to turn the phone off. So let's say your cutter is in pristine condition and you wish someone would just tell you what to do. How do I even put the material on my mat? Well, the Save to Cut is like having your personal digital cutting assistant sitting next to you. All you have to do is answer 2 easy questions and Save to Cut will do the rest. So first, what digital cutter are you going to use? So you can select this drop-down menu and choose your cutter. Next, you need to let it know what type of material or fabric are you cutting. So we're going to be doing glitter heat transfer vinyl. So that's it. I've answered 1, 2 questions. Next, this is going to tell me, since I selected the scan and cut and glitter heat transfer vinyl, that I'm going to put my blade at 4, my speed at 3, and my pressure at 0. Application instructions. Place on mat shiny side down and mirror image the design. Whoops, I forgot to mirror image the design. But if I drag this over, you know what? Those circles aren't going to look any different mirror image. So I'm going to leave that the same, but I need to remember to change that for the letter K. Next, there's an application video. So if you've never seen anybody making or heat transfer vinyl, then you're going to click on that link. And here, you'll have a video built into the Save to Cut. And so I'm going to actually show you exactly how to read the vinyl, how to remove it off the mat, how to press and apply it. And there's that sticky carrier sheet that we showed you that automatically comes on the heat transfer vinyl. And let's see if we get a picture of reading it. So I talk about reading and how you do that, and you're just going to basically peel the heat transfer vinyl off of that carrier sheet. You want to leave the part that you're going to press onto your fabric on the carrier sheet. It's sticky, so when you position it on your fabric, it's not going to go anywhere. And then at that point, you can either heat press it or iron it. So watch this video when you have some time. From here, I can select Finish. And I created a little folder called Test. And I'm going to call this Faux Rhinestones. And notice, Save Type As. You know, I don't even know what my scan and cut reads. Maybe that's you. You don't know what format you need. And Save to Cut knows it for you. It's your digital cutting genie. So it saved it as an FCM. Perfect. Select Save, and then this great template pops open that gives you all of those same settings, because maybe your computer is not near your digital cutter. You've got all these settings here. You can print this out, and when I hit Close, let me show you what actually happens. Here's my test folder that I saved this into, and look what it did. It saved the FCM file. So this file, I would go ahead and copy it and paste it onto a USB stick and put it in my scan and cut. This WAF file is the native working file, so it Save to Cut automatically saves your file as a digital cut file, which in this case is FCM, plus the native working file. And why that's important is, let me show you. What if you cut this out and you decided, you know, let's get a new page, and I'm going to go under File and Import Faux Rhinestones. or actually file, I'm sorry, open, and the WAF file is your editable file. So if I open that, let's come back in here full screen. Let's say I decide, I really want those crystals to be bigger. Even though we're not doing crystals, we want the holes to be bigger. I can actually change that without having to bring in the scallop all over again. And that's what the WAF file will do for you. All right, so we've saved that. We've got the cut file and the editable file. Now let's go to the letter K. And the reason why we didn't save it with the other one is we're going to cut this at a smooth heat transfer vinyl, and I want to be able to print that template to give me all the settings. So with heat transfer vinyl, because of the way you press it on, you're going to want to mirror image your design, and that means flip horizontally. And here's the icon. Perfect. Now let's click Save to Cut, and this time it's going to be heat transfer vinyl, not glitter. We've got all of this information to read through, and then we'll call this K, and I'll put rhinestones, K smooth heat transfer vinyl. Perfect. So it's going to say that. Notice it's mirror image. Actually, too, folks, look right here. You have scale at 100%. So you could even cut out your piece, read it, and lay it over this template if you printed it, just to make sure your cutter isn't resizing anything. Close this out. And when we look here on our test file, now it's saved the letter K as a WAF, and the FCM file you would copy and paste this onto a USB stick to cut it out. Now this WAF file, let's open it up. So if I go into a new page, File, and Open, what if I decided, I don't really like that font, it's very boxy, I want a scrolly font. Well, by opening the WAF font, now all I have to do is click on it, and I can easily change it to something else without having to start all over again. And that's what's great about the Save to Cut. Alrighty, so there we have finished our book bag. And let's show you that picture again. So you're going to press the glitter heat transfer vinyl and the letter K, and you're all done. Now let's go into the shoes. And so with the shoes, we just did a simple monogram, but you could add rhinestones or anything that you wanted. Let's go to a new page, and we use the monogram templates again for this. And let's see, let's choose this one. And for this, on the sample shoes, to use K and W and K. And you can use TrueType font. So if you wanted to change TrueType fonts, you would select this and whatever is built in. For her sample, she used the Bridal large. And we're going to select that to put our cutting mat on so you can see that. And to make it fit on a pair of size 8 women's shoes, she found that 2.75 width worked really well. If I double click on this or zoom in, one of the things I want to show you is the letters were a little too far apart because of the scrolling. So how she fixed these, or just select them and move them closer, however you like. And if they can touch, actually not touch, and then we're going to select these two, and we want to align these vertically. So come under your alignment tool. Perfect. We can group them. And that's that easy. Now what do we need to do to cut this out? We're going to remember to flip horizontally. Let's run it through Save to Cut. And this would be smooth heat transfer vinyl as well. So we'll just call it heat transfer vinyl. Mirror image to design. Perfect, we did that. Now what we haven't talked about is when you do cut this out, it's going to tell you to place the shiny side down on the mat. That's why we mirror image to design. Special instructions. Make sure you read these. They're really important things that you may not know if this is your first time cutting heat transfer vinyl. But it's just asking you, excuse me, did you remember to mirror image or design? Select next. Again, a second time. Did we mirror image our design? I can't tell you how many times I've cut something and only to remember, oh no, I forgot to mirror image it. Select next, and I'll put monogram. And again, save as type. I can print this. It's at 100%, so I can make sure my shoe size design is just right and look right here. We've got the monogram. Oops. Design. All right. So that's a pretty quick and easy sample project for shoes. You could do kids or adults. And let's bring the shoe picture back up here one more time. Awesome. So on the back, you could do something. You could add rhinestones around here. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. That's inspired you to make something really cool today. So we've done the tote bag and the shoes. And it's all about how quick can you do a gift coming into the busy fall season. Let me go to a design that I saw on my way home from Michigan. I saw somewhere a cute shirt in one of the gift stores in the airport that said, actually a little different, it said, "Go away, I'm reading." And so I thought, man, that would be a really cute shirt. I love to read. It's my downtime. So I bring my Kindle with me everywhere I go. But a lot of times people like to read with a real book. So we created this design, and I think this would be really cute on a t-shirt. It could say, now if you see me with a computer, go away. If you see me with a seam ripper, go away. You could add anything you wanted. But this book design, I wanted to show you this because this is something, let me unfill it so you can see this cut lines. I didn't have any artwork for this. And so if I look in the Hope Yoder library, I was looking for books, and there was no books that I gave you free. So I want to show you how to use a really cool feature in here called the Auto Artwork Wizard. So let's come to a new page. And the first thing that you're going to do is let's just kind of go on to the internet. And let's do a search for free book clip art. So the Craft and Cut has a great built-in wizard where you can import SVG or scalable vector graphics, which are clean artwork. You can also find clip art or JPEGs or poor resolution images and run them through the Save to Cut to create clean images. So let me show you a great example of that. So if I'm scrolling here, I want to get something that's kind of simple. And so here was the one that I found. And so I'm going to click on this. And however you screen capture, I'm working on a Mac. Oops. Go back here. I'm working on a Mac. So I can hit Command, Shift, and the number 4. And then I can crop this image. Or if you're working on a Windows computer, then you want to use the snipping tool. Let's see if I can pull that up for you here. So these are a few of the questions that I was asked recently. So the snipping tool is built into your Windows computer. And this pops up, and you're just going to say New Rectangle. And let's see if I can get this to come back up. And so snipping tool, New. And when this pops up, oops. When that pops up, you're going to get this cursor, and you're just going to drag it around there. Another idea, on some computers, you could simply right-click right-click on this and save image as or save image to download. So that's another way that you could do this. All right, so however you're going to save that clip art image. So I know I have it when I work on a Mac and I do Control, Command, Shift, and the number 4, it saves it to my desktop as a PNG, and that is not clean artwork. So let's come to our Auto Artwork Wizard. Click on this, and here, welcome to the Auto Artwork Wizard. And so what's going to happen is you're going to create vector artwork from an image that's on your computer. So first thing we're going to do is click on Select Image. And I know that this saves to my desktop. So here's a couple of the different books I have. Let's open this. Select Next. And here I have options. I can go ahead and resize this now, and I leave this as is in millimeters. That's going to be about a 4-inch wide design. Select Next, and if you look in this, I've got white and black. I want to make sure I get rid of the white background that's at the side of this. Now look where my mouse is hovering. See how these lines are not clean? They're actually really jagged and pixelated. That's because this is just a free image off of the internet. So I want to make these lines nice and straight, because if they're bad like this, it's not going to cut clean on a digital cutter. So let's select Edit Image. And the reason I'm doing this is I have white inside of the book and in the background, and I want to change the background to a different color. Select Edit. And this is, I've got to tell you folks, this is one of the best programs that I've seen in just about any program that I worked with. This editing tool is awesome. When this opens up, I'm going to grab the paint bucket, and I want to fill my outer edge with a different color, anything besides white or black, because white and black are inside of the book. And I want this wizard to be able to delete the background. And it won't be able to do that unless the background is different than the foreground. So now I've done that. I'm going to X out, and in the auto, do you want to save the changes? I'm going to say yes, or save. And now my background is green, and then I have white and black. I'm going to hit Select Next, and notice this box is normally unchecked. Fill background color area. Click on this if you want to save the background area. I'm going to just leave it just like this. Tolerance just gives you a little more level of selecting the designs. Normally I'll leave this as is. We'll select Finish, and voila, look at that. Did you see that? That is so awesome. And what's really awesome about this is now look at this line. Let me unfill this with color, and I've got some really easy, nice lines here. Now there is a black and a white, and the white, let me just change it so you can see the inside of the book. Now if I was going to cut this, I probably wouldn't even want to have two colors of vinyl. I would just want the outline of the book. So I'm going to select the inside, right-click, and just delete that layer. Let's see how big this is. 4 inches. Well, that's probably pretty good. Now for a t-shirt, here's a little tip. Normally an adult-sized t-shirt, your design can be about 9 inches wide for the front or the back if it's a round neck. So having the book at about 4 inches, I'm going to leave it like that for now. So let's add the text. Left-click on the text tool. And here you have text. You could do circular text, text on a path. Let me show you this. This is really cool. Even though we're not going to do text on a path, let me show you this. Text, text on a path, and then left-click in the white area to open your choices. I love this one. Path L. I'm going to change this to something that we can see. All right, can you read that? I like big books and I cannot lie. So let's try this. Now, while that's not what we want to use, that's pretty cool that you can get this. And you have all kinds of options. So when you have some downtime, if you're like me and you're a football wife, this is a great thing to play around with. All right, let's undo that. That was pretty cool, though. I'm going to have to save that for later. So let's undo this, or simply delete it. I'm going to do straight text. So select the straight text, click anywhere in that area, and this time I'm going to choose True Type Fonts. And I recently bought this really cool font that I love, and it's called Viva Beautiful. And we've got all of these letters, and again, this is True Type Fonts. If you see me with, let's do this, if you see me with a, and we'll leave it at that. Now the line spacing is 25, and I know that's too big. All right, so let's do a line spacing at 5, and notice how the two lines come closer together. Now I want to zoom in on this text for you. And this font, while it's great, some of the letters are like the U, Y-O-U is spaced so far apart. So with this, I can change that. So did you notice that I zoomed in and no longer do I see all those boxes? That means I just have to click on the tool again, and then I have all these little nodes that I can edit. So let's go ahead and do some fun. Let's move this F closer. And I'm going to get the letters closer together inside of each word first, like this. Now I can move them closer to each other. And we'll just play around with this for a minute or two to get something that looks good. All right. Now notice all of these boxes are going to go away when I click on the select tool. To get them to come back again, select the T and then straight text, and you'll be able to make adjustments. All right, so far so good. I totally need this t-shirt. I don't know about you. Maybe it should say Seam Ripper. If you see me, whoops, now look how big of a space that is. I can't move it right now, so let me get those nodes back. That's the wrong one. There we go. That looks better. Now, I'm going to put, if you see me with a, and we want to obviously say book, go away. So to do that, I'm going to simply copy this and paste it. And change the text to say go away. Love it. Let's just make this text a little bigger. And we can center all of these by using our alignment tools. Perfect. Let's change this all to one color, black. Let's see how big this is. What did I say? 9. Oh, it's not very big. So this would be great on a book bag. It'd also be great on a t-shirt. On a t-shirt, I'm going to change the width for an adult t-shirt. Remember, we said it's about 9. Notice how that goes really big. Super easy. Double click on the magnifying glass. Now let's put our mat up there to see. Oh, now look at this. We have a little bit of a problem. We can fix that. We're at width at 11. I'm going to change that to 9. Now, I may not have noticed that I did that wrong until I put my mat on All right. So if I'm working on a scan and cut, I can scan my material that's on my mat, so I don't need a bounding box. If I'm working on an edge or an eclipse, I've got a nice laser-like preview. If I'm working on a silhouette, I might want to add a bounding box. And to do that, we're going to go into our artwork tool, pick a square, and this is just a bounding or leading box. Now, to do heat transfer vinyl, remember to mirror image it. We're going to run this through Save to Cut, and this would be smooth or just heat transfer vinyl. And I'm going to select silhouette this time. Go to Next, Application, Mirror Image Design, and put the shiny side down on the mat. Special instructions. Did I mirror image it? I remember it. Hit Finish. And let me put this in the test because I really like this design. Go away. But now, let me show you something else. I'm just typing in the name, but let me tell you what I tell all my students when we're on a hands-on class. With your design, something you may or may not know, not all cutters will retain the right size when you open it. It's actually not the cutter, but some programs will resize this design. So I like to know what file, the file name and the size. I'll say them together. So open transform, and I have 9.65 wide times 7.56. So watch this. We'll change this to the silhouette. We'll go to Next, and we'll put this in the text, and I'm going to say go away. And I'll use an underscore, and the reason why I do that is some programs don't like a dash, but an underscore they'll use. 9.65 wide times 7.56 high. And then I'll put inches so I know. Save it. I've got my great template. Now notice here, because a printer sheet of paper is only 8 inches wide, or 8.5, the scale on this is no longer 100%. That means this is just giving you a visual now. It's not going to be 100% size. But again, I have all those great settings. And let's come back to my test folder. Notice I have the Go Away WAF. And let me show you one more time why it's just brilliant that Save to Cut gives me that WAF file. So if I open a new page and I go under File, Open, and the Go Away, I just open it from this folder. And if I decide I don't like the TrueType font that I use, I could change this to anything I wanted. Now, if I didn't have the WAF file, let's resize that a little bit. I would have to start all over again with this design. I wouldn't be able to use the design like it is and just change the text. I would be stuck with starting all over again. All right. So as a recap, Save to Cut gives you the WAF file as well as your digital cutting file. We've shown you how to import the designs into the Hope Yoder library. And there are several folders. You're going to select each one. And I really recommend that you write down which folder you've already imported on a sticky note so you don't double import. There's so many fun designs in there. So again, you're going to go under File and Import Hope Yoder Designs and then find that CD. We've used the rhinestone design here. We've used the vertical horizontal alignment, and we've used the new monogram tool. If you'd like to view a grid on your mat, here's how you can turn it on and turn it off again. I've also shown you the Artwork Wizard. So let me show you one more Artwork Wizard design before we leave. We go to a new page. And let's say, and this was a shout out to Shanae at the expo that was with me, and she had this great pattern. So let me show you what she's done with this. She captured this old design from the internet, and it's a pattern of a Sunbonnet Sue. And so again, this is kind of what she showed me, and I thought, this is great. I'm going to share that with you and make sure Shanae from RNK gets credit for this great demo. Notice it captured all of these different colors. I'm going to select color 5, the lighter pink, and delete it just to show you that you can. And select next. And let's go back. Notice how faint these lines are on the pattern. If I go to next, it's cleaned up the lines and they're darker. And go to finish, get rid of the grid, and you've got this great pattern that she captured from the internet. So this cute little dog, you could use this dog. Let me put him in a new page to show you some fun things that you can do with this. First of all, let me unfill the dog. And notice there's 2 sets of lines there. So first off, let's change this to about 5. And because there's 2 sets of lines, if I do applique, I'm going to get something really strange. So let's undo this. And to get 1 set of lines, I'm going to break apart. And now I have 2 colors of artwork. So let me undo that. Here, before I break it apart, I've got 1 dog. Now I'm going to right-click, left-click on Break Apart. And now I can simply delete one of these dogs. So he looks pretty good. We could do heat transfer vinyl. And let me show you one quick little picture that we were experimenting with, and we'll do this on a future webinar. But what else can you do with heat transfer vinyl? Well, what if I wanted to make this into an applique? I could create the dog as an applique. I'll show you this 3D. And the stitch preview looks like this. So it's stitch the placement line and then the tack down line, but I'm going to stop right there. For the tack down line, I want a zigzag. So I'm going to go under Applique Extra, and instead of the tack down being run, I'm going to change it to zigzag. And now check this out. That's the placement line, that's the tack down, and then the third color is going to be the satin stitch. Perfect. Now, something that we could do with this dog, rather than cutting out the heat transfer vinyl, what if you embroidered using heat transfer vinyl as your applique fabric? So I don't need to create a cut file for this. I'm just going to go to Save As, and now I'm going to save it as an embroidery file. So whatever embroidery machine I'm using, let's take VP3, and we'll call this S for Shanae, Doggy. We'll say OK. Now I want to save that as a WAF too, in case I need to edit it. And we'll call it Shanae Doggy. We'll get rid of the VP3. Now, I'm going to show you some pictures of a project that we were just playing around with. So picture this doggy, or it could be a letter. We did a monogram, actually. What if you took this heat transfer vinyl and you peeled off the release paper? And you're just going to save that. So now you have this very fragile glitter heat transfer vinyl that doesn't have the carrier sheet on it. You with me? You're going to have that handy. And actually, I'll just show you, we actually did some letters. And thanks to Chris for making this quick sample for me. So we have the heat transfer vinyl pulled off, we're going to stitch our placement line. In this case, it would be for the doggy, and that would be this line right here. That would then indicate where to lay this glitter heat transfer vinyl without the carrier sheet. Then we're going to stitch the doggy, or in this case we did a big giant monogram. So we're going to stitch through the glitter heat transfer vinyl. And we stitch all the way to the very end, the satin stitch. And then you're going to rip away the heat transfer vinyl. This is called rip away applique, R-I-P, rip away, because you don't pre-cut it out. You're going to rip it away after the satin stitch is all done. There's a close-up of it, and there's a picture of it finished. Now, what you maybe can see is we put that clear carrier sheet that she removed on top of this because it will rip out of the center if you don't fuse it with an iron or heat press. So we press this following the manufacturer's direction with a little towel or pillow underneath, and then that gave you rip away applique. So that's a really cool technique that you can do. And if you wanted to do a monogram like we did, let's just select these two. And let's get a big solid monogram. For the sample, I used applique. And so if we use HC, there we go. This is very small, so you don't want to try to do an applique with that. Trust me. I'm going to say 8 millimeters. This would be a really good collegiate type applique. Now if I wanted to click this and make this applique, notice this. It's not active and I can't. And the reason is, with text, the only way you can make it into an applique or into an embroidery file is to select it, right click, left click on break up text, and now look what happens. Now I can create that applique with a zigzag. Perfect. And let's change this color. And when you change the color, it's going to say which color, and we'll change that to the last satin stitch. Now again, notice I select the H. I can't do anything to it. That's a reminder to break up the text. Now I can easily select applique, applique extra. I want to change the tack down to a zigzag to give me a little more color. And look at this. This is so awesome. Now we've got all of these. And you wouldn't need to pre-cut your appliques out if you're doing the rip-away method. If we wanted to do this for fabric, and I do want to create a fabric cut file, here's how you do that. Select Cut Preview. So that's what your cut files will look like. If we unfill them, you can see we've got the shape. Select Save to Cut, and Batik with Applistick. Now here's something I get asked a lot. Why is it Batik? I can't find cotton fabric anywhere. Well, I'm not sure why they did this, but I think why they did and why I would have chosen Batik is because in the drop-down menu, if we did cotton fabric, it would have been the third one instead of the very first at the top of the list. And most of us want to cut applique fabric. So Batik is the same thing as cotton fabric. Run this through Save to Cut, and we'll call this HC Monogram. Save it, and there we go. So that's how easy it is to create heat transfer vinyl designs. Again, this is 91%, so it's not full, the scale. So I think that's a lot of information in a very short time. Let me show you these pictures one last time. Your tote bag that has the faux rhinestones. And then the adorable shoes that I don't know why Chris put her initials instead of HYL. I'll have to speak to her about that. But that's it, folks. That's how easy it is to do heat transfer vinyl. Remember to mirror image the design. So I'll get this PowerPoint so you can have information up on our website in the next day or two. And just to show you where to find that so that you can watch this video, if you go to NicoleFioder.com. Right here. I'm going to have her place this on video clips, Craft and Cut software. And this was our last couple webinars, and I have some more fundamental videos here. But I'll have her place October's PowerPoint up here as well. And so this is where you'll find that. All right, folks, you have a great Tuesday afternoon, and I'll see you again here next month for another webinar. And we're going to turn a wine bottle into a water bottle doing some glass etching. So you'll want to register for that soon.